1, go!
Motocross Championship was developed by the Canadian company Artech Digital Entertainment and released on the ill-fated Sega 32x in 1994. The game attempts to capture the experience of motocross, featuring a large number of opponents and tracks taking place in both stadiums and outdoors. Motocross Championship has a very rushed feel to it, and that is evident right from the start. The beginning of each race more or less features your 11 opponents all crashing into each other at once and leaves a bad first impression. However, simply waiting a moment before accelerating and veering off to the left or right eliminates this entire fiasco. After that, Motocross Championship is actually a lot of fun. The tracks are laid out very logically and occasionally have an exceptional flow where if you hit every jump just right, you glide right across the track. Like in modern motocross games, the key to success is using the up and down buttons to load and unload the suspension. This lets you get some serious air and glide across the whoops. If you don't use the up and down buttons to shift your weight around, Motocross Championship can be a fairly frustrating experience. Not everything is perfect though. While the controls are good, steering around turns can be somewhat awkward. The camera is very sluggish, and you'll occasionally wipe out because you didn't see a mud pit coming before it was too late. Other times you're high in the air, and when you land, you're running into tires and other obstacles. Track memorization helps, but again, it leaves a bad first impression. The most atrocious part of Motocross Championship is the collision. If an opponent runs into you, you'll slow to a crawl or even fall off your bike completely. Any collision at all will slow you down, and it's pretty easy to get tangled up in a whole mess of opponents. Motocross Championship does allow you to punch, a lame attempt at copying the awesome Road Rash games, but it's executed poorly here. It's impossible to land a punch and is pretty much a waste of time. Graphically, Motocross Championship isn't terrible. There is some attempt at creating the illusion of 3D, and the hills and valleys are somewhat convincing. But for a 32x game, it leaves a lot to be desired. Roadside objects also scale, getting bigger as they move towards you, but the somewhat low frame rate hides the developers' efforts. The sound in Motocross is a mixed bag. The engine noise sounds fairly realistic for a cartridge-based game, but for some reason only comes out of the right side speaker. An odd design choice for sure. The music on the other hand is awful, with that gritty, tinny sound you would expect from a really bad Genesis game. As a whole, the sound is just underwhelming. Motocross Championship is lacking in variety as well. The indoor tracks all feature the exact same color of dirt, but if you look closely, there are two different background sprites. The outdoor levels all feature the same colored dirt as well, but again, there are two distinct background sprites. Desert and a different desert. There isn't enough distinction in the track design though. The outdoor levels are designed exactly like the indoor courses. There is also just a single bike. You start the game with a generic 125cc bike, and if you finish the 12-stage championship mode, you can move up to the 250cc bike. Unfortunately, the same 12 levels are then presented over. Again, a serious lack of variety. Motocross Championship gets trashed pretty good by other reviewers, and some of it is probably justified, but this is a playable game and there is some fun to be had. Racing through the championship mode takes about an hour, and once you get a grip on the controls, it can be a satisfying experience. Unfortunately, there isn't really any reason to play this game. There are much better motocross games to be played on other systems, and there really isn't any compelling reason to go back and play this game. It's a fun curiosity for sure, but I'm not really sure I can recommend it with the poor music and awful collision detection. This could have been a good game, but it was rushed. 2 out of 5.